Ronit Attias, shalom.
Hi,
And welcome to CultureBuzz.
nice to be here.
Ronit, you are one of the best mosaic artists I know.
Thank you.
And recently, you have started a new initiative, which is highly interesting, called AmenForYou. And on the wall, we see one of your creations, truly magnificent, if I may say so myself.
Thank you. It's very
So,
kind.
Ronit, how did it all start?
It all started when I was invited a few years ago to a wedding with very good friends of mine.
Mazal tov.
Their son married a Jewish girl from Belgium. And if I may say so, it's a couple who has, thanks God, everything. And I didn't want to bring them any money, which is very common in Israel, to give as a present to their wedding. And I knew that I wanted to give them the text of the Song of Songs, which has a lot of, it's hard to describe, but a lot of benefits in the text for love, for good work, for success.
The most important things in life
Important
that we
things in
wish
life.
ourselves.
We wish ourselves
And our
friends and the rest. So I went to a city in Israel which has a lot of religious people, to Bnei Brak, trying to find the Song of Songs.
The capital of ultra-Orthodox.
Ultra-Orthodox. And I was sure I'm going to find this text in order to give them as a present. And surprisingly, I didn't find it. I tried in other places around Tel Aviv. And the wedding was almost a week before me. And I decided to do it myself. It means graphically to design it, to put a special wish, I mean like the names of the bride and the groom. And I did it graphically on the computer. And then I printed it on canvas. And I wrote them on a paper because they are not religious. This couple is not religious at all. They know the text, they know the Song of Songs, but I don't think they know the deep and the meaning of the text. So I wrote in, like we speak in the slang or in the street, what's the meaning of the Song of Songs? And I waited for a feedback. That was my present. And the feedback was that they hang it on the living room. And that was not the only feedback. 6 months afterwards, I was dining with my friends, who are the parents of the groom. And the father of the groom told me that I did a very special and unique present to his son, and of course the bride. And it was very significant for me, since this man came from a very traditional Jewish home. He left when he was a teenager, the religion, I mean, practicing the religious. He went to the Kfar Ayarok, which is an education in Israel, very free spirit, if I may say so.
A bit agricultural.
Now he's in the diamond industry. He's respecting, of course, the religious and everything, but he has nothing, if I may say so. He's not practicing it.
What we call a secular Jew.
Yes, that's true. And he said that I did him, his son, a very special gift. So I understood that I succeeded in what I wanted in passing the text, the idea of the text, the words in the text, without the importance if it's religious or not religious. I mean, the text 100% by the definition of the text. Not if now that the Song of Songs is the most holy text in the Jewish religions, which is it.
Dressed in a very beautiful, artistic cover.
Yes, and what I decided to do is I started to collect Jewish text, blessings, mostly blessings, in order to be possible for people to give as a gift in special events, like a newborn child, girl or a daughter, which I find special text. It took me some time to find the text, because it's not that I opened the internet and I could find everything in the internet. I had to buy a lot of books and to study a lot in order to find the right text to the right event.
Sounds like almost academic research.
Almost.
Digging
I did.
Very deep.
I worked on it more than a year,
Wow.
almost 18 months. And we went out because we worked as a team. I took some illustrator and people who was in Bezalel and Machon Avni, who are artists also, because my passion thing, I'm a mosaic artist basically, but
There is even a book
thank you,
teaching people how to
thank you.
try and imitate what you are doing.
Thank you. And my advantage is, I think, my possibilities on a gift of God that I received to create products. That's my passion. Passionate, if I may say so. And I did, in order to be this product to reach a lot of people, I did also 3 kinds of products. Some of them are printed on a very special paper, which are the product less expensive, so I can reach via this project a lot of people, because I don't want people to say it's very expensive, so we cannot offer it.
We can't afford it.
To other people, thanks. And then I did a highly price, which some of the products are printed on leather.
Wow.
So a lot of kinds of leather, all of them are kosher leathers.
This is very interesting, because this is how, by the way, they still do write the holy texts.
On leathers.
On leather.
Of course, the product is more expensive, but it's unique because the weather, once you're working with weather, each time you have another result, which you cannot print it on paper or on canvas. You will not have the same effect. And we are going to limit each blessing and each design for an amount of products like 100 or 200, and once we are going to achieve this number, we are going to stop this blessing and going to design it in another way.
Interesting.
Yes, that's the design and the artist part which go into the product. We have all kinds of sizes, and we can also, if people want to write a special say to the dearest, for example, the name of the newborn or the name of the groom or the bride, or if, for example, there is a special birthday, like 50 years old of a person who is 70 years old, what you are giving as a present to a person who is 70 years old. So you can give him, you can bless him that he will have a lot of years to live. So we have, for each event, we have a special blessing.
So in addition to the old and very familiar texts, there is the possibility to personalize the blessing or the good wish.
Yes, that's the idea behind it. And of course, we are going to, with the time, we bring other artists into this to illustrate more blessings, and also to bring another graphic to the blessing. And of course, we are going to bring other blessings into the project.
Wonderful. I visited your site. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
And I wanted to ask, normally in Israel, the texts will be in the Holy Bible language, which means Hebrew. But is it possible also to do similar works in other languages? Because I know that you have been almost all over the world and you speak more than one language.
That's a very interesting question. The idea is that the Jewish sources are in Hebrew. So the idea behind it is that the blessing will stay
As it is.
In the Hebrew, the way it's written in the Jewish sources. I cannot change it. It won't be the same. The energy that goes out through the blessing won't be the same if I will translate to Spanish or to French or to Portuguese. What we are doing is, for example, if you want to personalize it and to write a special wish to a person who speaks French, we will add it to the blessing in Hebrew, the wish in French or in Portuguese or another language. But for me it's very important to stick to the sources and to stay in the language which is written, which is Hebrew.
And as an artist, you can recognize in the ancient Hebrew letters some energy and some power that you don't find in foreign languages. This is what you're trying to tell us.
That's true, and it's written also in the website that there is special energy in the words, in the letters, in Hebrew. And I want this energy to be to pass it to the person who receives it.
And there is a belief here, a strong belief that this is possible.
Yes, and when you believe, that's the secret behind it.
And if Eliezer ben Yehuda is looking down on us, he is smiling a very big smile now, listening to you.
Thank you.
Because we know how important Hebrew was for him.
And I think also for someone who speaks Spanish or Portuguese or French or English, I think even a person who don't speak Hebrew also recognize and appreciate the language of Hebrew, which is the language from, I mean, that's the beginning of the world. So I think also people who are not speaking Hebrew are respecting the language even without understanding every word. And what I try to do for the time being, we started and translate and explaining every blessing in the website into English, and we will translate it also in the future to Spanish and French and other languages. We'll go step by step.
And basically, if one thinks about it, this is how it should be, because this is the language of the book of all books, the cradle of civilization.
That's true. I don't know statistically, but I think it's the
Bible, most sold book,
the bestseller in the world.
Absolutely.
And there is a reason for that.
Yes.
And as an Israeli, I was born in Israel, and that's my mother tongue. It's true, I know other languages, but I didn't grow in a religious family, and the respect I have for books, for the word, because that's how I was educated, that if you say something, you have to stand behind your word. You have to read, because books are the best friends, and you are learn all the time. You are learning through books, and that's also helped me a lot in order to arrive to this project.
The famous saying, you say what you mean and you mean what you say, and you add to this a beautiful artistic cover. And here comes the question, if I may. I know it might be a sensitive issue, because on the one hand, we have your beautiful art, and on the other hand, we have, and this we know from all over the world, the difficulties of connecting between the artistic side and the commercial side. And it seems to me that this is an attempt to merge the two.
What I did, it's true, because what I did in this project, it's a kind of blend. I will explain myself.
Please.
I started as an artist in the field of mosaics. I used to live in Europe for many years, and when I was in Spain and I was in Barcelona, I was very enthusiastic about Gaudi, and I went to learn in University of Art mosaics. And after a while I started working in mosaics in Belgium, in Brussels, and I had a studio in Brussels, and I participated in some museums showing my works in mosaics, in the Cinquantenaire, in the Musée du Tram. And then when I came back to Israel, I had my own studio in Yafo, and I worked for a few years in mosaics and also developed products as a presence to the American market. And I have to say that the gap between working in the mosaics, especially in the mosaics fields, which is very Sisyphic, and selling it, the gap between the hours you are working and what you will receive as a way to live and to rebuild your art, there is a huge gap. And life, through this, the fact that I wanted to bring a simply present, that I was thinking that it's very important, I understood that I can combine the two. On one hand, as you say, I can continuing on my passion to develop products and to do design and aesthetics things, and on the other hand, be able to sell them and to arrive to a lot of people. And that's the blend between two things.
So basically, what you have managed to do has to do with balance. You have reached the point of balance.
Yes, I think so. I think that's the moment.
So frustration is behind us.
Behind us.
And we look forward optimistically.
Of course. That's the idea.
So what can we wish, Ronit Attias?
You can wish me that the blessings of Amen will be able to be given from people to the dearest all over the world. And there is no question if they are Jewish or not Jewish. The meaning behind the words, the energy behind the words is the most important things, because you are wishing only good things to the person which is your dearest. That's the idea.
Ronit Attias, the only thing we can say after listening to you, and I think it will be very appropriate, is one word. Amen.
Amen. תודה רבה.
תודה רבה, שלום.
תודה רבה.